In Final Cut, we can create multi-layering compositing in the same way how we can do it in Photoshop. If I want to combine two images together, I can play with composite mode of each track. If I do Control-click on the any selected clip in the emerging menu, I see the option Composite Mode, which allows me to change the composite mode the way how the image is displayed. Most of the composite modes are equal to the layer modes in Photoshop, with the exception of Travel, Matte, Alpha and Luma, and these will be the separate topic of the separate tutorial, so we won't be talking about them. All the rest work exactly in the same way as they work in Photoshop. So what we can do is to use this to create multi-layering compositions and to enhance our emotional impact of our image and of our sequence and finally of our video. What I have here is a split screen video that shows this split screen video shows different sides of the creative process. So it has the descriptive sequence that just shows a sculptor creating a sculpture, and on the other hand it has, let's say, more symbolic images that pretend to reflect the essence of the creative process, the soul of the creation. So to give the more emotional impact of this idea of the creation as a part of the creative process, I might add as a special effects some motion graphic clips. So I have here a clip with the fire, that would represent the internal fire of the artist that is being revealed during the creative process. Within the same concept, I have here like fire smoke, and also have another kind of the smoke clip. As these are files, in order to combine them together into multi-layering composition, I might just play only with the I might play only with the transparency of each clip, but like this, the clips that are above do not allow me to see completely or very well the images of the clip below. On the other hand, if I change the composite mode, for example, to screen or to lighten, the effect is changing. So it does give the effect of a fire that is coming like from inside of this artist. I can also play with the transparency to achieve the look what I want. How do I know what composite mode I can choose? It depends on like how much of highlights and dark parts each image has. As the screen and lighten composite modes allow to add the highlight parts of the high image to the lower image, so the effect is seen mostly on the black or dark parts of the lower image, where the highlights of the upper image are added. In the same way, I can add change the composite mode to another clip. So I will be changing the effects, and first I will have a fire that we will be changing to the fire smoke, and then finally the fire smoke will be changing to the dark smoke. And I plane with the composite modes and the opacity, I can achieve the look I want. It really depends on the message that we want to transmit and the personal preferences and your vision of your work. What is important here is that the upper images to which we are changing the composite modes, the ones that we're using in special effects, they're motion graphic clips. So these are the moving images. On the other hand, our original clip is based on still images. So by adding the special effects that is based on the motion graphics, we add additional movement to our video that allows us to glue together our still images of the main sequence. In the same way, here I have another sequence. Let me show it in another way. I have another sequence that is composed half of the dark parts and half of the highlights. So I have also another motion graphic clip that represents just let me show it here. It's just like the crystal glass moving, some special effect. So as it's also very light, if we change its composite mode to soft light, for example, it almost won't be affecting the dark parts of the lower image, but it will have the subtle effect on the highlights of the image. So we can add like this some moving effects to the highlights, adding like this a little bit of the sense of the continuation to the composition that is to the sequence that is composed mostly out of the still images. On the other hand, if I add also on the top of it our dark smoke sequence and change the composite mode to the screen, then it will affect mostly the dark parts of my lower image, but it won't affect the highlight parts of the lower image. So like this, by adding together two clips of different natures in terms of the tones and levels, and giving them different composite modes, we can create different effects that will affect different parts of the main composition, of the main sequence. Once again, it just creates an additional glue factor that allows us to maintain our photographic sequence together.